At this time, I'd like to ask student Dr. Laura Fulkerson to come forward and offer our invocation.
Please remain standing and bow your heads for the invocation. Thank you, God, for today to celebrate the commitment being made by these student doctors. I pray that they will reflect on today throughout their journey of their medical education careers. Thank you, God, for giving them a hardworking spirit, enthusiastic mind, and a compassionate heart. I pray for their family, friends, and significant others to support and guide them along this path. I pray that they trust you, God, through the trials and difficulties and celebrate with you through the joys and victories. I pray that they always put the patient first and help them, God, by leading them and guiding them according to your plan. Thank you for this day, this university, and these student doctors. Amen.
Please be seated. Thank you, Student Dr. Fulkerson. Before we begin, I'd like to ask everyone to please silence their cell phones for the duration of this ceremony. Good afternoon. Students, family, friends, special guests, and welcome to the 2017 White Coat Ceremony of the University of Pikeville's Kentucky College of Osteopathic Medicine. My name is Boyd Boozer, DO, and I'm the Dean of the Kentucky College of Osteopathic Medicine. I'd like to take a moment to introduce the platform party. Please hold your applause until I have completed the introductions. On my left, Dr. Burton Webb, President of the University of Pikeville. Dr. Joshua Crum, Associate Dean for Clinical Affairs. Student Dr. Mark Dean, President of the KYCOM Student Government Association. Student Dr. Whitley McIntosh, First Vice President of the Student Government Association. And Dr. Stephen Harris, Associate Dean for Academic Affairs. On my right, Dr. Bill Anderson, past president of the AOA and our keynote speaker for today. Dr. Selena Raines, member of the Kentucky Medical Association Board of Directors. Student Dr. Laura Fulkerson, president of the KYCOM Christian Medical Association. Student Dr. Derek Mounsey, president of the KYCOM Student Osteopathic Medical Association. And student Dr. Jay Patel, president of the KYCOM class of 2020. Please welcome the platform party. At this time, I would like to call President Webb to the podium.
In 1971, a group of missionaries came back to the United States from the country of Taiwan. There were 4 of them, 2 parents, 2 children. They arrived back in the country, and when they entered, all of them had to submit to tuberculosis testing because that was the order of the day. 24 hours later, one of those individuals came down with a positive TB skin test. X-rays would subsequently prove that that young child had developed tuberculosis while in country in Taiwan. That child was checked into the Flint Osteopathic Hospital because it was the only one that his parents could afford when he came back. And just yesterday, I discovered that our speaker today trained in the same hospital where I was treated as a child. And so our connection goes back many, many years. I would like to add the greetings of Boyd and the Board of Trustees and others, the faculty and staff of the university, to the ones that Boyd has just provided for you. Welcome to the University of Pikeville. We are very proud of your students and very proud that they're here. We think that you should be as well. Parents, I want to give your students just a chance for 1 second to do something. Students, have you found your parents yet? Look around. Have you found them? All right, wave at them so they can take a picture, please. Welcome. We're glad you're here.
Thank you, Dr. Webb. I'd like to recognize another group with us here this afternoon. Here at KYCOM, we have an outstanding faculty of whom I am very proud. Their dedication to the education of our students is one of the keys to the success of our fine school, and I would like for them to stand and be recognized. Faculty, please. In my view, this is the second most important ceremony conducted by the Kentucky College of Osteopathic Medicine, second only to graduation. The white coat ceremony was an idea conceived by the Arnold P. Gold Foundation to create a psychological contract for professionalism and empathy in medicine. The first white coat ceremony took place in 1993 at Columbia's College of Physicians and Surgeons. Since then, more than 90% of the osteopathic and allopathic medical schools in the U.S. have initiated such a ceremony. This afternoon, you will be coated, and you will also receive a DO Touch pin, symbolizing the distinctiveness of our profession. We've initiated this ceremony at the Kentucky College of Osteopathic Medicine to mark the transition you are making from lay people to those assuming the responsibilities of physicians. Why is it necessary to mark this transition? Why is a focus on professionalism and empathy necessary for students who have nearly 4 more years of medical school to complete, board exams to pass, residencies to finish, and state licenses to obtain? It is necessary because being a physician, being an osteopathic physician, starts now. You, as members of the class of 2021, will increasingly be granted by society significant and, I hope, humbling power and responsibility in your relations with your fellow human beings in regard to the health and illness of their bodies, minds, and spirits. You must recognize this and understand that you are no longer just students. You must walk, talk, eat, think, sleep, and behave as physicians. You must accept and embrace the mantle of professionalism bestowed upon you symbolically here today. As you develop the qualities that will make you outstanding osteopathic physicians, you will grow in knowledge and skills from the academic and the clinical experiences you will encounter during your time as physicians in training. Class of 2021, you were selected to enter this profession because you have demonstrated the abilities and the character necessary to succeed. Today, I congratulate you on your accomplishments thus far and encourage you in those accomplishments that are yet to come. And now, it's my great pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker. This afternoon, we are blessed to have with us as our keynote speaker a man who is one of the great leaders of the osteopathic profession and a dear personal friend. William G. Anderson, D.O., is a graduate of the Des Moines University College of Osteopathic Medicine. He's a senior advisor to the dean of the Michigan State University College of Osteopathic Medicine and vice president for academic affairs at the Detroit Medical Center with responsibilities for osteopathic medical education. He's a past member of the board of directors of the National Board of Osteopathic Medical Examiners and the American Osteopathic Foundation. He's board certified in general surgery and is a fellow of the American College of Osteopathic Surgeons. In 1994 and 95, Dr. Anderson served as president of the American Osteopathic Association, the first African American to be so elected. His practice career spans over 5 decades as an osteopathic physician and surgeon in rural Georgia and in Detroit, Michigan. He has received many awards, and no less than, I'm losing track here, but I know it's at least 9 honorary degrees he's received. They're too numerous to list, but do include Doctor of Science degree from Michigan State University, Lifetime Achievement Awards from the American Osteopathic Association and the Michigan Osteopathic Association, Medal of Public Service Awards from Ohio University and Michigan State University. He has served as a commencement speaker and as the honored speaker at white coat ceremonies for numerous colleges of osteopathic medicine, having served as the white coat speaker here. This, I believe, is 8, 10, 12, 14, at least the 5th time in the last 10 years. Beyond his professional accomplishments in the osteopathic medical profession, which of course are numerous, Dr. Anderson is a personal hero of mine for the depth of his convictions and his unfailing commitment to his ideals. When I first got to know him some 25 years ago, it was in a professional setting as we were both serving in leadership positions in osteopathic organizations. At the time, I was really totally unaware of the courageous work that he did in the American Civil Rights Movement, but I was deeply impressed by the foundation of his principles, which were revealed in our casual conversations. It was only later that I came to learn that Dr. Anderson was literally at the epicenter of the civil rights movement in 1962 in Albany, Georgia, where he was the founder and president of the Albany Movement, a place of life and death struggle for racial and social justice. In his leadership role, he put his life on the line every single day. And in this leadership role, he worked side by side, shoulder to shoulder, with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Ralph Abernathy, Rosa Parks, and other leaders of the American Civil Rights Movement, in one of the most important social movements in modern history. Since then, Dr. Anderson has devoted his life to improving the lives of others, a model of selflessness and service for us all. Bill and his late wife, Norma, wrote a book about their lives. It's a wonderful book, which, among other things, details their struggles at the center of the American Civil Rights Movement in Georgia. We will be presenting a signed copy to each of you here today, which I know you will enjoy when you are able to find the time to read it. I understand your list is already pretty long. But the proceeds of these books will benefit the William G. Anderson Minority Scholarship Program of the American Osteopathic Foundation. And now, please welcome our keynote speaker, William G. Anderson, D.O.
I was enjoying that so much I did not want him to stop. What he didn't say was what he said to me, Dr. Stiles. He says, you know, I can never begin to pay you for all you have done for the profession and for this nation. I said, try, damn it, try. Thank you, Boyd. I was privileged to have the president, Dr. Webb, and his lovely wife to pick us up at the airport yesterday. I don't often get picked up by dignitaries from such high positions. Thank you very much, Burton. And your wife, wherever she is, gracious hopes. And I came with my fiance. She's here. Rhea, where is Rhea? Raise your hand, Rhea, wherever she is. That light, is that where? It's way over there. I want you to get to know her because she too has been committed to this profession. For many years, she was a member of the Osteopathic College Foundation that provides scholarship for those students who need the financial help. And how many of you do not need any financial help? Raise your hand. I don't see any hands. So we want to thank her for what she did in the foundation, and she was instrumental in that she contacted the Oregon Foundation of Osteopathic Physicians that contributed $250,000 to the Minority Scholarship Fund, and she should be commended for her efforts in that regard. Thank you very much, Rhea. I have been around a long time, and you know, age has its privileges. It has its shortcomings too, because I think there are fewer years ahead of me than there are behind me. So all I intend to do in my lifetime, I should start doing it now. I don't think I should put anything off. So this past July, just a couple of months ago, I guess it was a year ago in July, I went to the House of Delegates meeting in Chicago. And I addressed the delegates, and there were, I don't know, about 1,000 delegates and guests there. And I said to them, I deserve this privilege because I am the oldest living member of the House of Delegates. I didn't have anyone to challenge me on that. And I said, I have been a member of this House of Delegates for over 30 years. I didn't hear anybody challenge me on that either. So because I have that longevity, I have certain privileges that I would like to share with those who come after me, because I know how it was then, I know how it is now, and I know what the future holds for you who today receive the white coat, and in the not too distant future will receive an osteopathic degree. Is that right? Now, let me see the hands of those who will not get that degree. No hands, so they all will graduate. So why do we bother about waiting for 2 years or longer? Just give it to them now. It's called on the, you know, you can learn as you practice. No, don't do that. Because you might have to take care of me. But I said to the members of the House of Delegates, I graduated in 1956, and I dare say most of you were not even born as early as 1956. Is that right, Dr. Stiles? Most of you. Most of your professors were not born by 1956. So I was born way back in 1927. But even in 1956, there was very little known about the practice of osteopathic medicine. There were about 5 colleges. We had 6. We lost one to California, but it did not stay gone very long because, you know, like in biblical terms, he that is dead and buried shall rise again. Well, the profession rose again, even in California. Dr. Stiles, it was dead and buried, but rose again. But I said that I have seen this profession go from what it was in 1956 to what it is today. Where we had 5 colleges, now we got 45 colleges, I think, and counting. Who can tell me how many we have? You know how many we have? 48 campuses. 48 campuses. 48 campuses. So, you know, I went back to my class reunion. I said my class graduated in 1956, and I want some of you smart people to do the math. And I went to my class reunion last year. It was the 60th, get that? 60, the 60th class reunion. We do this every 5 years. And we had a nice, I'm a graduate of Des Moines University. Do not hold that against me, please. I don't want any demonstrations out there because I went to Des Moines. But because we had this reunion, we have it every 5 years because there were not enough in my class. As a matter of fact, I tell the story about how many was in my class frequently, and it went from what was to what I used to call 75, and no more than 35. I said it looked like 75, but there were only 35 in my class. Well, at this 6 years class reunion, 2 of us came back. Two. Me and Dick Coates. He's a pathologist. I don't know why he's still around. Maybe he's around to do my autopsy. But we had a very nice program, a very nice printed program, and I looked over the program and I saw all these names on there, and I complained to the president of the university. What the hell is this? I graduated from this university. I'm a member of the alumni committees. You know, I pay my dues. I make contributions to the university, and my name is not on this list. Well, my classmate, Dick Coates, pulled my coat, and he says, Bill, those are the dead ones. Well, I said, okay, I heard you. I will not complain. But I'll be back in another 5 years, but if my name is on that list, I won't come back anymore. Got that? All right. I want to talk to you about that white coat because some of you might have the idea that that coat means you are now a qualified osteopathic physician, because there are people who will see you with that coat on and say, aha, there is a well-qualified osteopathic physician. No. That coat cannot practice, it cannot feel, it cannot have compassion, it cannot do surgery, it cannot diagnose my cardiopathy, it cannot take out my prostate. That coat can't do anything but perhaps partly cover your body. But you cannot be in a really cold climate and expect that white coat to even cover your body adequately. What I'm saying is you need to put something under that coat. That's why you're here. Butchers can wear that same coat. Butchers can cut up things, I hope not people. But you need to put something under that white coat. Now, I want you to stay with me for a while. For should you endeavor to engage in activities for which you are not adequately trained, perhaps, you should have a second thought about it and perhaps give yourself something to remind you, you know, you're not smart as you think you are. I'm going to say that again. Should you endeavor to engage in activities for which you are not adequately prepared, perhaps there should be a sign, maybe hung around your neck, should be a sign that say you are not ready yet. So I want you to stay here as long as is necessary to make us proud to say you are an osteopathic physician and you belong in the osteopathic family. And I want to be here to welcome you into the osteopathic family as a graduate osteopathic physician. And that won't be very long. You see, I'll be 90 years old in a couple of months. And I'm planning on being around until I'm 100. And if Haddock-Hall, and what's that other medication that I take? If the drugs hold out, and if I stay away from surgeons, I think perhaps I'll be able to stay around till I'm 100. You know, we were a relatively not so well-known profession when I graduated. And so by the time I became president of the American Osteopathic Association, recognizing that we were not that well known, we put together a caravan. You remember that, boy? We put together that caravan and we went all over the United States carrying the word, the message all over the United States that osteopathic physicians are well-trained physicians and we can do most anything. So we wound up in the United States Capitol in D.C. on the Capitol Mall, Washington Mall, in the shadow, mind you, of the Lincoln Memorial across the reflection pool. Those who have been to Washington, I want you to go there, by the way. If you have not been there, my statue is not there yet. But the statue of Martin Luther King is there, I can tell you that. And Rhea, my fiancée, she's been my fiancée for about the last 7, 8 years, and she will be my fiancée for the next 10 years, she said. So, but we went to see the statue of Martin Luther King Jr., my all-time hero. And it was just being unveiled. And we stood there looking up at the statue, and we held hands, and we cried, because we said, there is our hope for the future. Our hope for the future. Not in the statue, but what he stood for. So when you put on that white coat today, people would look at that white coat and say, well, there goes a real fine doctor. But no, I want you to say to them, I might not be there yet, but when I have earned the right to wear this white coat, I'll be as fine a physician as you will find anywhere. Now, I don't know how long, Boyd didn't tell me how long to speak. You see, I'm Baptist, and if we have any Baptists here, you will understand. In my church, we do not have clocks, we have calendars. And we had a visitor to come to my church, and the usher stopped the visitor at the door, and the visitor said, well, how long has he been preaching? And she said, oh, about 40 years. He said, well, I'll come in. He should be through by now. Well, sometimes I think they forget. But we want you to stay as long as is necessary. Remember, I'm going to go back and say this again. Should you endeavor now to do something that you are not adequately prepared to do, perhaps there should be a sign that says, don't do that yet. I want you to take your time and learn it well. All right, going back to the Capitol Mall. Sometimes I'll have someone spotted in my audience to tell me where I was when I stopped speaking and went into something else and started preaching. No, I'm not a preacher. I do not intend to be a preacher. I don't have the qualifications of being a preacher. As a matter of fact, I'm hoping all of you will pray for me. Pray. You hear that? Pray for me, with me, so that I become 100, because I want to see all of you enter practice and be successful physicians. But anyway, on the Capitol Mall, in the shadow of the Washington Monument and the Lincoln Memorial, and there on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial is where Martin Luther King Jr. stood when he gave that monumental speech, I have a dream. I have a dream that one day, and I have a dream for the profession, and I shared my dream with those who were with me on that day, as I will share that dream with you today who are getting the white coats. I have a dream that one day you will earn the right to wear that coat proudly as an osteopathic physician, and you'll be as good as they get, better than any, better than most, certainly as good as any. I want you to earn that coat. Where was I? Let me know when it's time to sit down and shut up. This profession has done so much for me and my family there are now 7 of us osteopathic physicians in my immediate family. When you recognize that when I entered the profession, none of them even knew how to spell osteopathic. Today, 6 of my children and grandchildren have become osteopathic physicians. My grandson, who I'm so proud of, mind you, I'm proud of all of my children and grandchildren. My friend Boyd Boozer told you about a book that my wife and I, my late wife and I wrote that will be shared with you. And my granddaughter now has written a book that will be introduced at OMED, that's in October, I believe, in Philadelphia. And I said, Boyd, look at the title of the book. The title of the book is An Idea Whose Time Has Come. This is the time when osteopathic medicine, Ed, has come into its own. This is the time when you, as osteopathic physicians, will not have to fight the fights that we fought to get to where we are. The acceptance that we get anywhere and everywhere. When I graduated, we could not enter the military as commissioned officers. Today, the highest ranking military officers are osteopathic physicians in the field of medicine. Osteopathic physicians are anywhere and everywhere you find qualified physicians. But go back to what I said, should you endeavor to engage in activities for which you are not adequately prepared, perhaps you should stop and think about it a little bit. So take the time now to learn and learn well. I'm going to tell you this, and it might be about time for me to stop because you have other things to do. I had a 2-story house in Detroit. Oh, by the way, I might have delivered you in Flint, you know. I would, be careful. I went there as a student in 1955, and if he came in there in 1955, I might have delivered some of his grandparents. You know, that's a long time ago, 1955. But anyway, where was I? Are we all together? In this house, we sprung a leak in the roof. And I looked at that roof, and I looked at that leak, and I said to my wife, I said, you know, I can fix that. I know men and women with a second grade education that are excellent roofers. You know them too, don't you? Excellent roofers. I said, wait a minute, I have a DO degree, I'm certified, I'm a fellow American College of Surgeons. That's nothing but a leak. I can tackle that leak. So what did I do? I went and got me a 20-foot ladder. I went up to a trap door in the ceiling of my garage, concrete floor, by the way, in that garage. By the time I got near the top round in that ladder, my foot slipped, and I had nothing to hold on to. I came crashing down on the floor of the garage on my head. My wife heard the clatter and ran out of the kitchen into the garage, and there I was laying in a heap on the garage floor. She said, let me help you up. I said, no. Let me lay here for a while and contemplate this stupid thing that I just did. Write that down. Don't do anything stupid. Write that down. So I said, I want to think about this for a while. You know, when you do something really stupid, you want to remember that here. You might say, well, it was a mistake. Well, take those mistakes that you will make as you're learning how to be a physician. Take those mistakes as learning experiences and say, I'm going to do better. I'm going to get smarter. I'm going to get another skill. I can do this better. But right now, I need a reminder, I'm not quite ready for it yet. So anyway, she let me lay there. I don't know how long. She said, you idiot. You know, well, a wife can call a husband an idiot, you know. And a father can call a son an idiot, but be careful who you call idiots here. But anyway, she let me lay there until I felt as though I have learned my lesson. Don't do anything stupid. So I got up and I had an engagement at Ohio University the next day to speak to pre-med students. I had the most god-awful headache that you can imagine. If you've not fallen on your head lately, I don't recommend it, especially if you get a subdural hematoma. My fiance had a couple of falls on her head. She'll tell you what it's like to fall on your head. Fall on something else, you know. You can break a hip, but you don't want to break a skull bone. Well, I had the most god-awful headache, and I spoke to the students there, and then we had a convention going on in California. I went out there to speak. For 2 weeks, I was popping Tylenol extra strength like you eat popcorn. I think McNeil's stock went up that 2-week period because I was eating so many Tylenols. And I got back, I went to see my doctor. She's an excellent doctor. She's still in practice. She's an internist. And I said, I'm ready to do anything you say, doctor. And let me say this parenthetically. People in the community where you will go to practice will trust you because you're wearing that white coat that symbolizes you are a doctor. They will trust you without knowing you or knowing anything more about you than you are a doctor. They put you right up there with preachers and teachers as people they can trust unequivocally without knowing they can do that. Well, after that 2-week period of the pounding headaches, I went to see my doctor and said, I'm ready to do anything you say, doctor. She said, well, that's different. You've been coming to me for 10 years and you've never done anything I said to do. I said, well, I'm ready. Whatever you say, I'll do it. So she sent me to a neurologist who diagnosed me as having subdural hematoma. She sent me to a neurosurgeon who drilled holes in my head and let the evil spirits out, and the pain went away. But I went through a period of recovery. During that period of recovery, I did not shave. And those of you who are just learning, and yours has been growing for a while, but when you first started growing the beard, it itches on the side of the chin. So I was standing before the mirror and I was shaving the part that itch, and I got down to this part and I said, that looks pretty good. On the front cover of Modern Maturity was a picture of Sean Connery. And he had one of these. I said, damn, he looked just like me. So if it could, it served him well, so I kept it. But now, every morning, as I shave and look at myself in the mirror, I'm reminded, don't do anything stupid today. Just a few more words and I'm going to sit down and shut up. No one will ever think more of you than you think of yourself. Write that down too. No one will ever think more of you than you think of yourself. Here? I want you to believe in yourself, believe in what you can do as an osteopathic physician. Number 2, maybe it's number 3 by now, don't forget where you came from, how you got here. Somewhere up here is a relative, a parent that still admits to owning you. There's a parent. There's a guardian. There's a neighbor. There's a teacher that helped you to get here. Don't forget about them. You didn't get here by yourself. You're not going to complete the curriculum. You're not going to learn what you need to learn by yourself. You will need some help. Number 4 or number 5, be respectful of others. I'm talking about their race, their color, their creed, their religion, their sex, their sexual orientation. Respect them. for who they are and what they are, and learn how to love them as your brothers and your sisters. I'm through.
Thank you, Dr. Anderson. Please welcome from the class of 2020, Student Government Association President Mark Dean.
All right, well, thank you, Dr. Anderson, for those words. I think he took my speech, so I'm done. No. Before I get started today, I just want to welcome all of the friends and family who came out to Pikeville to see your first-year medical students walk and put on these coats. It's a very special time, so welcome. As a Chicago intern rural medical student, I want to give you a little bit of advice. There is a lot of really good food in Pikeville, specifically Lizzie B's and Pig and a Poke. And I will gladly go with you there after the white coat, and you guys can buy me. I'll go with you, and I will show you where those are. I'm kidding. I'll go anywhere. So, back to you guys. Congratulations, you finished one block of medical school. That's absolutely incredible. That's a great feeling. I hope that you're getting into the groove for studying now, and I also hope that you're getting enough sleep, because that is very, very important. I remember being there, right there actually, last year, and just being in amazement, sitting in amazement of all the things that were being said to us about these white coats. And it's a very special day. And I thought what I wanted to do for you is give you 3 ways that are immediately applicable for you to be successful as a first-year medical student. All right, so that's what we're going to do. The first way to be successful as a first-year medical student is this. During block week, you are going to be spending a ton of time in the anatomy lab. You already know this from first block, but believe me, you're going to spend more and more time there. There are going to be days where you are there till 11 p.m., midnight, or 1 a.m., and you're going to be poring over these cadavers saying, what is that muscle? Is that a nerve or is that fat? You're not going to know, and you're going to study very hard, and you're going to leave really late, and every fiber of your being is going to want to go home and go to sleep. You're going to want to shower, and then you're going to want to sleep. But to be successful as a first-year medical student, I urge you, do not do that. Instead of going home, immediately go to Wendy's and get a Frosty. All right. It's a surefire way, I promise you. And I haven't talked to Dr. Hillwig, Dr. Smith, or Dr. Soltez, but I'm pretty sure they would agree with me that this is the only way to guarantee 100% on that practical. And if not, at least you had some ice cream. So that's the first way. And oh, by the way, families, I realize that this is something that is typically privileged information that is only said to first-year medical students, but I figured you came here, so there's a reason for you to hear it too, and hopefully there's some application for you here. All right, so the second way to guarantee success in medical school requires a little bit of education on my part. So I've only been through about 1 month or 1 block of pharmacology, but there's something I need to explain to you about a therapeutic index. So a therapeutic index is defined as the ratio of the dose of the drug that produces toxicity versus the desired side effect. And I know some of you are like, what? What is that? So I'm going to say it a little bit differently. It's basically the concentration of the drug that's doing what you want it to do. Is that good, Dr. Harris? All right, I may have gotten that question wrong on the test, but I promise you that is it. So now that you know what a therapeutic index is, I want to give you the second way to guarantee success as a first-year medical student. And that is to know your therapeutic index for coffee. It is very, very important, and I know some of you are like, well, I don't know that. How am I ever going to pass medical school? So I'm going to help you out. I'm going to give you the answer. This will be on the test. So your therapeutic index is after that first cup of coffee. You need that cup of coffee in the morning to get you going. But you've gone too far when that coffee stops keeping you awake and starts giving you heart palpitations. You've passed it. You've kind of moved to the toxic side effect of that drug. And if you can master this therapeutic index for your coffee intake. I guarantee you, you'll be successful for your first year. Second years, I don't know about us. We'll see. And finally, the last thing, the third thing that will make you successful as a first-year medical student, I need you all to do something for me. I need you to look out to your parents, look to the people next to you, look behind you to these second years, look behind me. And I want you to think of those instrumental people in your life, the coaches, the parents, the spouses. I want you to think about them. And I want you to think about what we all share in common. Your friends, your professors, your classmates, and even that fire that has driven you to get through one block of medical school. What do we all share in common? And that's that we want to be here for you to support and encourage you. As an osteopathic medical student, you have the unique support of every single DO in this country. They are all here for you. As student doctors, being second-year medical students, third-year medical students, and fourth years, we are walking the exact same path as you, just a couple steps ahead. And we want to be there for you when we say, ooh, that was a bad step, don't do that again, or awesome, you made a right step. And in order to be successful your first year of medical school, you absolutely 100% have to be willing to humble yourself and accept that support. Because I promise you, it is extremely humbling when you think you know the right answer and you go talk to your roommate and it turns out you were wrong. It is extremely humbling the one time you get the courage to hit that little button in the classroom with the right answer and that doctor just says, nope. You need to know that it is okay to be wrong. It is okay because we are here to support you. We want to help you. It is okay to not be okay. And I'll say that one again because that's very important. It is okay to not be okay. You have these coats in your hands and you put them on today, and sometimes the meaning by them and the symbol gets misunderstood. This white coat does not communicate invincibility, does not communicate invulnerability, and it definitely does not communicate extreme intelligence. What it does say is it says you have a passion for serving others. It communicates that you are willing to sacrifice yourself for the good of others. And if you think about it, really, these white coats, they communicate vulnerability of being faced with your shortcomings and having to overcome them for the good of other people. Because of these white coats and because of the profession we have all decided to go to, we no longer have the luxury to say, I don't understand cardiac physiology, so I'm just going to forget about it. We now have to face those shortcomings of ours. And the only way to do that is through the support of others. And yes, Frosties and coffee, absolutely imperative. But mostly, you need the support of those around you. As your SJA president, as your peer, as a future doctor, and as your friend, I want to communicate to you today that you can do it. It will be hard. There will be times that you don't feel great about how you're doing in classes. But you will live up to the symbol of that white coat, the symbol of vulnerability that you now have. So I was told that a good speech always has a quote in it. So to close with my speech, I want to give you a quote, and I'll be honest, it's a little embarrassing because I don't really know who wrote this quote. And that's also because it's also a little embarrassing. I found it on Instagram. So this quote actually was very, very encouraging for me about 6 months ago when I was going through some of the harder material in class and struggling through whether or not I could do it. It was a hard block. And of course, on one of my many study breaks, I'm thumbing through Instagram. And I found this, and I hope it is as encouraging to you as it is to me. It says this: you may not become the best doctor in the world, or this country, or state, or city. Shoot, you may not even be the best doctor on your street, at your hospital, or even the best doctor on the floor, or in the room at a given time. But when a patient comes to you, scared the headaches, chest pains, or whatever has been troubling them for months, maybe something worse, at that moment, you are their best chance for survival. You are that patient's best hope. And proving yourself worthy of that responsibility is the only title that you should ever care about winning. So I hope that is as encouraging to you as it is to me. Congratulations on your white coat, guys. You're earning it. Thank you.
Andrew Abadir. James Adams. David A. Greg Agadzanoff. Maher Alia. Amr Ansari. Zainab Anwar. Nasia Azadullah. Jonathan Baird. Mustafa Basri. Jake Berg. Kirsten Bevins. Olivia Boyette. Lucia Bracco. Jared Bradley. Clint Branham. Colton Briggs. Brady Brooks. Jonas Butler. Joshua Kakamo. Shannon Caleri. Christopher Capelli. Cole Carlblum. Zachary Carpenter. Christine Carrera. Alexis Carroll. Brett Clayton. Brant Cornelius. Mary Claire Cotner. Mindy Dacry Kim. Katie Dick. Shaylin Dixon. Meredith Doty. Baruch Durrani. Dana Ebb. Vladimir Falb. Caitlin Firquin. Tierra Folsom. Taylor Gardner. Samuel George. Lillian Gosser. Shelly Gupta. Karam Hadid. Sean Hansel. Asia Harding. Joel Hassel. Benjamin Hayes. Robert Heck. Madison Heflin. Megan Helson. Jacob Henderson. Lauren Hosevar. Jared Homayuni. Travis Hoover. Olivia Horvath. Matthew Irick. Namratha Jan. Rebecca Jones. Kyle Knight. Catherine Knutson. Michelle Comer. Logan Kobeck. Jonathan Quo. Stephen LeCount. Dustin Leonard. Paige Lewis. Royal Lim. Catherine McKillop. Alea Mujid. Jordan Malone. Jennifer Markwood. Megan McCurry. Heather McGuire. Alice May. Amanda Meyer. Brigham Merrill. Andrew Merrill. Ajmal Mirzoy. Mariam Moyed. Jonathan Monroe. Elizabeth Morrison. Lauren Moshe. Danyal Munir. Ryan Nartades. Fatima Nasser. Holly Nart. Christy Wynn. Eric Willett. Aaron Overbeck. Zachary Panzarella. Chintan Patel. Zachary Patton. Mariah Porter. David Postma. Brian Powers. Evan Price. Colt Pruitt. Adam Wrights. Brandon Roselle. Amy Rubrick. Sahar Safi. Alexander Savino. Amber Sexton. Andrew Shamas. Blake Schrum. Cade Simpson. Trina Sarkar. Caitlin Smith. Tyler Smith. Shay Spencer. Maximilian Starr. James Sturgill. Jenna Sturs. Louis Sulit. Ramya Sanku. Madison Tackett. Tanya Templer. Austin Thacker. Katie Thacker. Amy Terrio. Jayshri Thomas. Ashley Thornsberry. Brendan Ulrich. Neil Volonki. Stanton Vincent. Lucas Walk. Hannah Walker. Andrea Ward. Lauren Wasserman. Caitlin Wathen. Thomas Weiss. Joshua Wiley. Meadow Will. Christina Wright Gu. Fletcher Young.
All right, congratulations to you all. Let's give them a hand. Selena Raines, DO, is a 2015 graduate of the Kentucky College of Osteopathic Medicine. She's currently serving her residency in family medicine at St. Clair's Medical Center in Moorhead, Kentucky. She's here today representing the Board of Directors of the Kentucky Osteopathic Medical Association. Please welcome Dr. Raines.
The story of my life, lowering the mic. First of all, just let me tell you what an honor it is to be here with you today. I was sitting in those seats just 7 years ago. I was nervous, but I was excited to embark on the journey that you guys have begun. Secondly, let me congratulate you on not only getting into medical school and being here to get your white coats today as student doctors, but I want to congratulate you on your choice to pursue not just medicine, but osteopathic medicine. I know I'm biased, but I do consider being an osteopathic physician to be the greatest career choice a person could make. So again, congratulations. You have a lot to be proud of. You are entering osteopathic medicine at a very exciting time. You know, we've been doing this for 125 years now. And if you look at the numbers and you look at the statistics, we're more recognizable now than we've ever been. Our numbers are growing exponentially, and we have DO voices representing us in every major public policy, health policy, political arena, nationally and internationally. We owe some of this to the folks sitting here right behind us, Dr. Boozer and Dr. Anderson. It's an exciting time of growth for our profession. You know, we've got single accreditation and osteopathic recognition. You know, I think that those things give us the opportunity to continue the work that AT still started all those years ago. He was an MD, and he realized that there was something lacking and that he wanted to go out and teach this, and we now have the opportunity to do that with osteopathic recognition. But you guys have made the choice to be osteopathic physicians, and I'm very proud of you for that. So they didn't tell me how long I had, and I know everyone's ready to go now that you have your coats. But I was just going to share a little bit with you. When I was a student here working in the OMT clinic, I started kind of jokingly back then talking about what I called the osteopathic hug. And let me explain to you what that means. I noticed that a lot of our patients, when we were treating them with manipulation, sure, manipulation made them feel better, but those patients that we took the time to listen to what was going on in their lives, sometimes even be literally a shoulder for them to cry on, those patients just felt so much better. They needed simply a hug, and I frequently gave those actual hugs to patients, and I still do it on a daily basis now. It kind of has become a joke in our residency program. Oh, there goes Selena, she's hugging people again. But as I've continued on my journey through osteopathic education, I started to realize that my osteopathic hug that I was talked about extended beyond patient care. I'd go to a national conference or a meeting of the AOA, and I was rarely greeted with a handshake. I was almost always greeted with a hug. So finally I sat back in some of these boardrooms and watched, and there were, men of our profession, women of the profession, the biggest leaders of the profession, and they all greeted each other with hugs. How many boardrooms across America do you think that happens in? We've got something special going on here. So I really began to understand that my osteopathic hug was really part of our philosophy and part of our way of life as osteopathic physicians. And I think that's really a special thing. So I'm here today. They asked me to come as part of the Kentucky Osteopathic Medical Association. So I'm here to embrace you, to give you that osteopathic hug, and to bring you in and welcome you to our state society. As students of KYCOM, you all are all members of our organization, and I want you to know that we welcome you with open arms. Our current president, Dr. Deborah Smith, she really wanted to be here today, and she regrets that she could not, but she does send her best wishes to you all. At COMA, we realize that you all are the future of our profession. And in order for us to best serve you now and in the future, and for us to sustain our organization long term, we need your engagement and involvement now. We need your input. Our organization is currently undergoing a bit of an overhaul. We've hired a new executive director, so we're kind of ramping things up again. But that's where you step in. Now's the time to have an active voice. You do have student representation at COMA. One of your students is also helping us with our social media campaign, and so we're trying to get back out there in platforms that you guys can engage with us. We're also looking to set up some what we call professional regional networking events, and we're trying to set some up here in Pikeville so that we have some of our local professionals that can be available for just chatting about osteopathic medicine, just networking, talking about future plans. So in closing, I invite you guys to all get involved with not only your student organizations here, your state organization, but also your national organization. Because now is the time to have your input. We're in a time of change in osteopathic medicine, and you guys are on the forefront of that, so your voice is very important. Again, I want to congratulate you on this journey of life that you're beginning to start, and welcome to the osteopathic family. Thank you.
Would the class of 2021 please stand and repeat after me? As I embark upon the study of medicine at the Kentucky College of Osteopathic Medicine, I will enter into a relationship of mutual respect with my teachers and my colleagues, to enhance the learning environment and gain the knowledge, skills, and attitudes of a competent osteopathic physician. Accept responsibility only for those matters for which I am competent. maintain the trust expected of an osteopathic physician, and never take advantage of the patient-doctor relationship. Show compassion and respect for all others. Set worthy examples in the application of humanistic principles. In my relationships with patients and others within the Appalachian medical community. Work toward improving my sensitivity and skills in human interaction. Understanding and respecting the differences among my patients and colleagues. Value the knowledge and wisdom of the physicians who have preceded me in the profession. And endeavor to contribute to the osteopathic tradition. Recognize my weaknesses and strengths and strive to develop those qualities. That will earn the respect of my patients, my colleagues, my family, and myself. Continue learning throughout all the days of my life. Thank you. You may be seated.
This concludes the 2017 White Coat Ceremony of the Kentucky College of Osteopathic Medicine. Please stand and remain standing for the recessional. I would ask that you remain in your places until the platform party and the student doctors have exited. I invite all of you to join us for reception in the foyer on the concourse immediately following the recessional. Thank you all for joining us this afternoon for this very special occasion. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.